Here's the truth. Even in the best run schools, there will be times when you're not entirely sure what your role is supposed to be. Maybe it's a transition time, maybe it's wet play, maybe the class teacher has dashed off to a meeting and you're temporarily flying solo. Welcome to TA Limbo, where the plan is unclear, the children are restless, and you're left wondering, what exactly am I meant to be doing right now? Let's take the panic out of that moment. First, don't assume you're doing something wrong if you feel uncertain. To be honest, your first few weeks in school, you'll feel uncertain a lot of the time. Schools are busy, unpredictable places, and teaching assistants are often moved around depending on need. Sometimes plans change without warning, a supply teacher arrives, a lesson finishes early, or a child needs extra attention and the rest of the class is suddenly your responsibility. What matters is how you respond, not whether you always have a plan. So here's your unofficial TA toolkit of 5 ways to stay calm, helpful, and proactive, even when things get a bit vague. So, 1, start scanning the room. Look around the room and quietly assess which children are off task or restless. Is there anyone struggling to get finished or to get started? Is there a child who needs encouragement? So use gentle body language and presence to offer low key support to avoid interrupting the learning of the whole class. So, if the class is busy getting on with it and you haven't been sort of given an actual task to do, so you're not supporting an individual child or a group, that's what you can do. Scan the room and check what's going on and whether you need to offer some help somewhere to a child. 2, tidy without being told. So when everything appears to be in hand and either the children are all working well independently or they're out of class and you're not required to be with them, tidy. TAs who tidy as they go are lifesavers. Wipe tables, organise pencils, put books back in trays. Teachers often wish they had the time to do this, and your initiative will always be appreciated. 3, check in with a child. If you've got a moment and things are relatively calm, check in with a student. How's your morning been so far? Is there anything you're not sure of? You know you can ask me if you need help with something. Doing this, you're building connection and gathering little bits of insight you can pass on later to the class teacher or the Senko. 4, be the calm presence. Even if things feel chaotic, your calm presence matters. So smile, walk slowly, speak quietly. Children look to adults for emotional cues, and your steady energy is part of what makes classrooms work. 5, ask with confidence. If you're unsure what to do, you are 100% allowed to ask. So here's a handy thing to say. Is there anything you'd like me to focus on while you're doing that? You're not being annoying, you're showing initiative and professionalism. And what about transitions and playground duty? Now, these are the classic moments when TAs can feel a bit unanchored. So here's how to stay grounded. So let's look at number 6, during transitions. Help keep a calm flow of movement. So remind children gently about lining up, using quiet voices, or collecting their belongings. Watch for those who dawdle, get distracted, or wander, because they're the ones who need a reminder of what to do. 7, playground duty. Now, check the playground duty list, the rota. though often there is a copy of it on the notice board in the classroom or the staff room. And so you need to check it to find out when you were on duty. Find out what the procedure is if a child gets injured in the playground. Does an adult have to take them to a first aider? Can an older child go with them? Are you required to put on a plaster? Find out what the school's procedure is with that. And when you're in the playground, spread out. So don't stand too close to another adult. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been in many a playground where the TAs sort of gather together and have a chat. It's nice to touch base with someone briefly, but your job is to keep your eyes on the children. So keep your eyes moving and check for any issues like children who are being excluded from activities with others, children who struggle with the freedom of playtime, so their behaviour becomes a bit erratic. Because by doing this, you can de escalate issues before they become major. And here's a way to take action. You can write down 2 or 3 practical ways you could help during an unplanned moment. So tidying, checking in with a child, scanning the room. Watch how experienced TAs handle limbo moments. What do they do when there's no clear task? And you can watch my video, 10 ways to stop wet play from ruining your day. I'll put a link in the PDF, and I think I have already put a link in another video to what to do when the teacher leaves the room. That's also one to watch. And in video 10, we will look at how to support children with SEND, that's special educational needs and disabilities, without feeling out of your depth. Because you're not alone with this, but at times you might feel as though you are. See you in video 10.